Hello, everyone. I have learned so much this year in classroom management. I would like to share just a few of those things with you. I really believe that there's so much that we want to help children get out of school, but if we don't have a disciplined classroom, then they're going to get just a small portion of what we want for them. And so classroom management literally gives students the wings to fly in school. I've based my theory off of Jim Fay. Jim Fay believes in disciplining with love and logic. He believes that we should treat students as capable, that we should guide them, facilitate experiences, be nurturing, really listen to them. He believes that we should give them choices as guided by the direction of the teacher. And he believes that we should allow the consequences to happen to children. This will happen in a small scale so that when they make bigger decisions in their life, they'll make the right one where the consequences will be much bigger. And I believe in this as well. And I also believe in the philosophies of William Glacier. He believes that each student has 5 needs. These are belonging, love, control, freedom, and fun. And that when a child is misbehaving, it's because he has an unmet need. Both of these theorists go hand in hand with having a democratic classroom. And so this is something that I want to implement in my classroom. And through having a democratic classroom, I will allow my students to have student voice by participating in class councils. They will have choices in the assignments that they want to do, class jobs, and group leaders. And Adam Fletcher said, talking about choice and student voice is the individual and collective perspective and actions of young people within the context of learning and education. When students are able to share their voice in the classroom, they learn better. Students can come up with more effective solutions than the teacher alone could do. Policy making is more effective because students know what works best for students, and they will have increased feelings of belonging and purpose. I feel as if the democratic classroom really achieves and reaches the needs of each student. For example, having class jobs will allow students to feel a sense of belonging because they will have a place in the classroom that's theirs. It will help them to feel a sense of control because they are the ones who are leading out on whatever their job is. And it will also be fun for them to have their own little job. They will feel a sense of accomplishment because they're helping to bring to pass a greater good in the classroom through their class jobs. This is just one example. Next page is motivation. There are things that we have to do in life, and there are things that we like to do in life. I think you need both to have a balanced life, and the same is true with school. I do want to facilitate intrinsic motivation in my classroom. The way that I'm going to do this is by being enthusiastic about what I'm teaching. I believe that some of the best teachers are ones who love their subjects, and that helps me to want to learn it myself. The other thing that I want to do is to find out the interests of each of my students so that I can cater my lessons towards things that they already like. And the third thing, like I mentioned earlier, is providing choices. I want to give them a couple options for the projects that they're expected to do so that they can choose and have intrinsic motivation toward what they're working on. The way that I want to facilitate extrinsic motivation is a couple ways. One is by having a reward system that they can earn class points that will earn up to something greater. The other thing that I want to do is for tests. If a student gets over 90% on a test, they won't have to retake it. But if they get below 90%, then one of the things they'll have to do is come in and have a tutoring session with the teacher so that they can learn the material. I feel like this would give them motivation because they won't want to come in and keep working on the same things, but it's also motivating them to learn the material for themselves as well as prizes. I really feel that extrinsic motivation is an instant gratification, but eventually all my extrinsic motivations will hopefully lead to intrinsic motivation for my students to learn. The rules in my classroom, again, going back to Jim Fay's theory, is that students should be able to run themselves and to be people and to participate in a democratic society, as guided by the teacher, so it's not just a free-for-all. And so I'm going to have just a couple overarching class rules, and examples are respect, honesty, and belonging. But then I'm going to allow the classroom council to come up with how they're going to reach these goals with kind of sub rules. So some that they might come up with, for example, is to show respect, we will speak kindly to one another. So being kind might be a rule that they come up with, but it's guided by my overarching rules that I think are really important in the classroom. Next page is prevention. A couple ways that I want to prevent misbehavior, first of all, is by building a positive report. And one of the things I want to do is greet my students at the door when they come in. This is so I can get to know their interests and their likes and about their lives. I want to do in-home visits to get to know their families, and I want to take notes about things that I learn about my students. This way they will build trust in me, and they will know that I care about them and that they are in my best interest during the class. And so hopefully that will build a good environment in my class. And here are a couple of my procedures that we will do. The next page is, sorry, I'm trying to get this to line up, interventions. Interventions are huge. Going back to my philosophy of Jim Fay, I believe that the biggest thing we're trying to do is help children learn and to keep teaching. And so little things, for example, if students are talking during instruction, proximity is one of the big ways that I'll try to manage my classroom. Instead of calling them out every little thing that I hear, I will just walk and be close to the student who's misbehaving. This way I can still continue to teach. Another thing that I will do for a more serious one is if a student blurts out answer using positive rules. For example, I only listen to people who raise their hands. And by this positive encouragement, it will hopefully help my students to want to choose to raise their hand next time. If you fold this out, this is my classroom layout, and I've done it in a specific way. Let's see, how can I... Okay, so as you can see, I have the desks laid out in a U shape with a carpet in the middle, and then the whiteboard is in front of them. I've done this in a specific way because, for one thing, there's room to move the desks around. This will be easy for group work. They're already laid out in groups of 3, so they can talk to each other, ask questions. They're always with a buddy. However, it's easy for me to do instruction because they're facing the front. There's a carpet in the middle, so as to help children maybe who can't see as well, who are having trouble listening, they can come and just sit on the carpet in the front and be closer to what's going on. I want to have lots of books in my classroom, and I'm going to create a great atmosphere even by the paint on the walls. I have chosen the color yellow because that helps children in their learning. And so by all these ways, I hope to create a classroom that children will be able to have fun, to learn by experience, and that that they will be in a comfortable environment so that they can be in a safe place. Thank you.